Hey y'all, welcome to Art of the Budget. I'm Nicole, I'm an artist and educator, and I'm currently learning about budgeting, saving, and planning for retirement. My pronouns are she and her, and I live in the Pacific Northwest, which is the traditional territory of the Coast Salish peoples. I am sharing with you today my May budget plan, and yeah, let's go over it. Let's get into it. We're a couple days into May, so I actually have, spent a little bit of money, and I've really been tinkering with this. I've got some goals, and I've got basically May and June where I will have my extra adjunct income to accomplish those goals. So I'm really trying a lot. So yeah, I'm planning to bring in 4,100. It's usually just a little more, but I'd rather plan for this like nice even number. So about 4,100 for my full-time job and my adjunct pay. I'm not planning on any reimbursements. I do know that I made $791 in interest this month. Yes. And I'm not planning on any gifts or miscellaneous income. We shall see. For sharing my income, I'm doing the regular 5%, and that's 205. I do have several things that I do monthly. It's actually not a huge part of this budget. It's about $25, I think, of things that I do every month. So it's a smaller amount, but I'm committed to doing it every single month. And that's several sort of creatives or different types of people, like sort of personal finance or art folks on Patreon and the Trans Lifeline. Those are the things that I do every single month. I have been doing this 2% to art, but actually right now I don't have a lot of places where I can cut. And I don't think that I need to buy any art this month in May. So I'm actually just going to kind of cut that this month to help me kind of push towards my goals. For my emergency fund, my goal is to put $1,105. That will get me to almost even 8,400. So that's exciting. Savings, that $791 immediately goes into this little weird savings account, which means that I have 45, almost $46 that I have made just from having the right bank account. Let's see, as usual, my $500 will go into my Roth IRA. Rent is $550. Electricity, I already know how much it is this month. It's a little higher. So I don't live in a huge place. I live in actually a bigger house that's 2 apartments, and we each have a separate electricity bill, and we actually don't pay gas or like water, trash, sewer, which is great. That's one of the ways that I'm able to keep my bills really low. But this is a little more. Last month, it was about $21 for my electricity. So overall, a very low bill, definitely not complaining. I usually estimate about $40. But yeah, I kind of wonder sometimes like what makes it go up. It's actually been warmer and I don't know, maybe, and it's like lighter longer. So you would think lights, we wouldn't use as many lights, but I don't know. I'm not one of those people that gets too worried about like, trying to get the energy bill down because my energy bill just isn't a huge part of the picture right now, but just curious. Anyway, my mobile phone is instead of like $75, it's $102.40, and that's because I was traveling last month and definitely went over data and then went over data again. This is actually one of my weaknesses. It's like no matter what it is, if there's a limit, I must break through it. It's very bizarre. But anyway, I was traveling and obviously using Navi fairly often, and just not in Wi-Fi like I am typically all day, every day between my job and my house. So it's something that I do plan for. Internet is the regular $79.95. I did get a thing in the mail that had some like increases, but I don't think any of them applied to me. We'll see. I was thinking I would try to call and just confirm. But yeah, let me this around a little. Okay, there we go. Okay, so going down to transportation, I'm gonna stick with the regular $100. I think that should be good. Car registration as usual. I just kind of take that out every month and then I'll pay it all at once. Groceries, I'm sticking to 300. We'll see how I do. One thing that I did do is that the butcher box, the way that I've been getting my meat, I decided I'm skipping this month because I had sort of been getting it and not using the whole month's worth of meat. So I have a pretty good amount of meat in my freezer. So I'm hoping that I can actually keep the bills down. And then there might be some areas in terms of meat because I don't need to buy any. And then in terms of some other areas like olive oil or certain things that I might need to stock up on, coffee, like more expensive things I need to stock up on, I'm hoping to do those this month. So maybe that will that'll work out. Restaurants, $100. And I am actually going on a short weekend trip with a friend at the end of the month. So I'm really hoping to not use very much of that and instead use most of that for when I'm traveling. We'll see how that goes. Household, I'm keeping around 30 just because I know that I already spent a little bit of it. And again, I might have some things kind of running out that I need to fill up. Health, I'm actually making 0. So my hiking club had a hike on Saturday, but I was doing an artist open studio tour. So I didn't go. And I think I'm going to take a break from my exercise class on Sunday. It's just been really, I've been really, really busy, like overly busy. I don't love it. But there's not a lot I can do about it right this moment. So I've been feeling just really maxed on the weekends. I'm like, I want to rest. And there's, like I said, there's not a lot of places where I can cut my budget. So I think I'm just going to take a break. I'll be able to go on the hikes starting in June. So I might just take a break from my class, focus on the hikes and doing stuff on my own and see how that goes for a couple months. Okay. Kitties, I upped this because I do need to get medication refilled. So this is kind of your typical cat food for the month and $46 for medication. Entertainment is now $6.51 for Hulu. It's a little less, which is cool. Auto insurance is now $98.42 instead of $103, so a couple dollars savings there. Renter's insurance as usual, that will get paid in September and fall. And then I wanted to share with you guys, I have a new expense here, $20.84 a month. That is going until April of next year. And that is for my accountant to do my taxes and my business taxes. Now, we'll see what happens. Maybe that will all be really easy and I'll be able to do it on my own. But if not, I wanted to start now with a sinking fund. So I contacted my accountant, who is also a good friend and like a sort of friend to artists in my community, and just said, like, what's your basic, how much does it cost to get your taxes done? And she said, well, I've seen your records, you keep really good records. So I doubt it will be beyond the base, which is $250. So I just started a sinking fund for that. And, you know, we'll see what happens. If I totally feel like I need to have somebody else do my taxes, or maybe I won't feel like that. But in any case, the money will be there. Okay, moving along, parents, $300 as usual. I don't know if it says, I guess maybe then I'll have about $3,000 left to pay them. I'm not sure how accurate that is. I do try to keep it updated, but I have my own little document just to make sure, because sometimes EveryDollar will change numbers a little. And so I have my own document just to be sure. Student loans, my usual 201. And then to sinking funds, I'm going to put 0 in the health fund for right now, 70 in the cat fund, 30 in car upkeep, because like I said, I do need to get some work done soon. And I probably need to start prioritizing that. We'll get to it when we get to it. Tech, same thing, need to be boosting up that fund. Nothing into gifts, nothing into clothing, nothing into Insika, although we might start maybe in fall. And then I've got about $100 in extra travel. Either I will have that available if I need it for this weekend trip. The person I'm going with is a good friend, and we have financial club together. So I think they'll be up for doing, you know, things that are cost effective. But you know, I'll have it available. And if not, I have another friend coming into town in June, so I'll have a little bit of money tucked aside for that if I don't use, you know, $100. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'm covering my bases and planning enough. You know, like last month I didn't really plan for my sister's visit. I was just like kind of up to my eyeballs and didn't have like the capacity to plan, and I went over and I didn't like that very much. So that is the story for me. My goal is to, basically get as much as I can into that emergency fund, get as close as I can to the $10,000. I have a few things that might be kind of washing out in the next month or two. So I'm really hoping that by the end of June, I'll have that 10 grand in there. Let me know how y'all are doing with your goals, and I will see you in my first budget check-in. All right, have a great rest of your day.